Hello everyone, a very good morning and welcome back to the session today. We are here on 25th of September and here on the Unacademy's YouTube channel. And today it's definitely going to be a special day for many of us here as part of the team of Unacademy here. The major reason is that we all knew very well about what was the announcement that has been made yesterday by the by the UPSC very specifically. The results for the year 2020 have been released, and right, as part of it, it is something definitely we could say, right, with a kind of great energy and a great happiness. We could say that a lot of learners who have prepared through an academy, it has helped them in clearing the UPSC examinations. And yes, it starts with the second ranker, right? There's a topper in the top 10. You could see, second rankers directly has prepared herself from the academy support, and we have about top 7 rankers from the top 20. In the top 20 we have 7 rankers who are from an academy, and 15 are from the top 50, and more than 169 plus people have actually cleared who have prepared for the who have prepared from the academy. This gives us a immense support and a great thing, in fact, we could say. So this is something, a great news for the all of us here at the team and academy. And I'm sure, if we can continue with the same way about how the things have been going on, right, it would be definitely a great transformation for all of you, going forward with respect to the team thing. So right, I expect that I would be really happy, to see all of you be among these particular people in the next upcoming examinations. So that is what I have to tell you. And before we start, right, we have the batch courses for 21, 22 as well as 2023. Right, we have 1 year batch course as well as 2 year batch course, which have been very specially curated by the topmost educators on an academy, and I'll be also a part of various batches that will be taking the sessions on. Okay, so that's going to be a very important thing, and we'll have 2 years batches too. We have certain kind of courses which are bilingual, Hindi as well as English too, right? And the weekly current affairs batch will be started from 29th of September. That's going to be a very important thing, and also the answer writing program also been started by the Unacademy, right? So every Sunday you'll be having the Unacademy combat of UPSC, and tomorrow also you'll be having that exactly at 11 a.m. We'll be having the combat, and you could join the combat using the code which is highlighted here. It's short and simple, Ajay IAS 10. This is something which you could use, and yeah, that is going to help you a lot with respect to your preparation, and you can test your ability through this particular quiz that will be held tomorrow at 11 a.m. on an academy. So you can enroll now, and if you are among the toppers, you'll be getting a great support on all these kind of areas. So why wait, and let's start the discussion on the topics of the day. So here we have some important topics. There are about 2 topics that have been there, which have been not too important for us in the examination perspective, but yeah, we do have some kind of importance to them. One is about the talks that have happened between the Prime Minister of India and the President of the United States of America, where we already have seen that, the Prime Minister of India had a bilateral meeting with the President of United States of America. So where this has been focused on very important areas, like they have focused on COVID-19, they have talked about the climate, and most importantly, the diaspora of India. The Indian diaspora has been doing a very, very, very great job. In fact, with respect to the United States of America in particular. So they say that this kind of meeting which has been held between both of these particular leaders is definitely going to be a new chapter and a new beginning for the ties that we are going to have between the countries of India and United States of America too. Where the Prime Minister of India stated that during the leadership of Mr. Biden, there would be definitely a very strong relationship of India US will be developed, and that will lead to a kind of a transformative phase is something that we're expecting too. So they say that, people to people ties will be improved much better, and India is going to be a partner in this relationship. So this is something which they have been talking about too. As I always tell you, whenever we talk about the United States of America, the primary thing that we will be talking about is climate change. We also talk about Indo-Pacific, and this time we also have talked about the COVID-19 also. So they talk about all these kind of things, and these are the 2 largest democracies. If you know about it, one is the oldest democracy in the world, and one is the largest democracy in the world. So this would bring all these particular countries come together, and that's a kind of natural relationship that we could mention of when it comes to this particular area, we could say, right? And apart from that, there has been a talk of trade which the Prime Minister has talked about too, but the President of United States of America did not talk about the trade. But they say that the partnership of India and US is all about the democratic values that is being taken up. That is something which is very important according to them on this particular case. Now, few days ago, a petition has been filed in the Madras High Court, and that was filed by a particular opposition leader from a party called DMK, in the state of, Tamil Nadu. Now, what happened here? Yeah, just give me 1 minute. Yeah. So what comes here is a very interesting thing, we could say, about the kind of about the kind of situation that happened here. So we all knew that the central government has brought up a 10% reservation for the economically weaker section people. So the Supreme Court talked about the same thing. But the point here was the Madras High Court in a petition stated that center should not have provided 10% of reservation for the economically weaker sections in the All India quota of the medical seats without the approval from the Supreme Court. Now, this is a statement made by the High Court of Madras, and this is absolutely wrong because it is a policy decision, and a policy decision has to be taken by whom? By the government. So the High Court remarks have become very, very beyond the scope which they are supposed to. So this observation which has been made by the High Court has been set aside by the Supreme Court. They stated very clearly that High Court's observations are being set aside because they were made when they are dealing with some other kind of complaint that has been filed, and it went beyond its jurisdiction. They stated that you cannot do any of these kind of things, and the Supreme Court did not comment anything on this particular EWS quota too. But why the Supreme Court did not talk much? Because they already have a particular case that has been scheduled for 7th of October, which wanted to look into the petitions which challenge the center's notification of July 29, which they say 27% of reservation will be given to the OBCs and 10% of reservation will be given to the economically weaker sections under the All India quota of the medical seats. So this has been now a kind of problem because the kind of reservation it's going to provide, it's going to provide almost 37% of reservation is being given apart from the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe reservation. So they say this is going to have an impact on the people too. But however, if the Supreme Court wants to deal with it, they can definitely deal with it. But the way it has been taken up has become a bit critical too right now, because under the All India quota, the states will be offering, what do you say, the undergraduate as well as postgraduate medical and dental courses admissions and all will be provided too. But they say that this, some advocates are saying this notification is unconstitutional because what is the criteria you are taking? Is it less than 8 lakhs that you're taking? They also stated that whether would be there would be a vertical or horizontal reservation and all. So they say that it is, with this kind of reservation thing, around 2,500 seats will be gone from the general category. So they are concerned about that particular case too. But many experts and advocates are also stating that this would definitely have a severe ramifications on the matter too, because that has been becoming one of the major issues in the recent past. So that is something which has been very specifically mentioned by them. Okay, then we'll move on to the next topic. Is also simple thing. I already told you about it, about the meeting between the president of, the Prime Minister of India and the Vice President of United States of America, where the Prime Minister of India did mention a lot of things about her. For example, the Prime Minister says we did speak on, phone some time ago. We had a great discussion and all. But now, whatever the thing is, the Prime Minister called the Vice President of India as a true friend, and he also acknowledged that the US help, its private sector and Indian diaspora, all these are doing a really great job too. And India and US, when we talk about them, they are the world's largest and oldest democracies. They are natural allies. They have same values. They also have same interests. So it's very important that we have to collaborate together and all these kind of things. And he also, the Prime Minister also, created such kind of good thing for the vice president, where he says that the victory of her as a vice president is an important and a historic event. And he said, because we all knew that she is the first woman president to the United States of America. If you know about it, she is the first women president. And if something goes, like tomorrow, she could also become the first women president. Also, no one knew very well about what is it going to happen. And she is the one who is from the African American, and she is from Indian descent. Very specifically, that means she has both African connections as well as Indian connection. Whereas the when you talk about her, Kamala Harris' mother is an Indian and father is an African, so that is why she has the support of both the communities. Maybe that is one way how they have actually taken up this. And now Indians have supported her a lot, and that is something which is very, very important. And they say that, India as a responsible nation, they have been really doing a great job. But at the same time, even Kamala Harris went beyond what it is actually scheduled to be discussed. She also asked the Prime Minister about the situation of Pakistan, how the terrorists emanating from Pakistan. If you know about it, at any point of time, the Prime Minister's meeting with the Vice President of United States of America and the President of United States of America has made it in that way. Ultimately, this is going to have a very huge implication here. In one perspective, why I'm saying about this kind of implications, because at one or other point of time, so what is it going to happen here is very simple, that US India allies. So when both of them are aligned, the country of Pakistan is the one which is going to be suffering right now. And they also stated, the country of Pakistan should definitely act on terrorism, and they need to do something on this matter. So that's a kind of ongoing issue we have about it. And the next one we have is about Ministry of Defense has signed a deal with about 22,000 crores with Airbus Defense and Space Company, which is based off Spain. So as part of it, we'll be purchasing 56 C-295 MW transport aircrafts, which will be replacing the age-old, 56 Aero aircrafts that we have been using since 1960. So this would be the most interesting fact about this particular deal, is that this is a project where, a military aircraft will be manufactured in India, where there would be complete technology transfer would be done by the private sector. And now the Indian private company, that's the Tata Advanced Systems Limited, in partnership with Airbus, is the one. They will be converting the aluminium things which you are going to get from one end, and they will convert that into a fly-away aircraft on the other end, which makes it very clear that we are just importing the raw material and we are going to change that into an aircraft. So it is an initiative taken by, the former chairperson of Tata Group, Mr. Ratan Tata. But unfortunately, that thing happened since then. But they are yet to decide what would be the manufacturing facility and all. But they have looked at more than 100 locations and evaluated different factors, where do you have an airstrip, infrastructure, all these kind of things too. And of this 56 aircraft which we are taking right now, 16 will be given in a flyaway condition from Spain within 48 months, and the remaining will be manufactured in India by the Tata Group within 10 years from the date of contract. So that is 16 will be given in almost 4 years, and other remaining things, that is about 40 aircraft, will be prepared in India within this particular time of 10 years. They will be given to them. So this C-295, which has been which you are now taking here, has a capacity of 5 to 10 ton capacity, and that is used for the transportation of up to 71 troops or 50 paratroopers. This is something which is an amazing thing that they're talking about. And now the next topic is a simple one. We know when the Quad group comes together, one country doesn't like it. That's China, isn't it? China would never like the importance of the Quad group in this particular case. So that would be a serious issue. And China again repeated the same things, that the grouping which is formed by India, US, Australia, and Japan, before the meeting was happened, China says that any regional cooperation mechanism should not target or harm the interest of a third party. And a closed and exclusive small groups, which are targeting other countries, runs counter to the trend of aspiration of regional countries and all. And they say they will not find any support, and they say it is going to be failed. And they called on the relevant countries to see China's development in a proper way and promote solidarity and cooperation in the region. Even Chinese ambassador to India, also stated very clearly that he talked about this kind of things. He and his statements goes like this. I quote: "At present, some countries with their ideological bias and Cold War mentality vigorously seek close and exclusive small cliques, that is small groups, with the aim of containing a third party. So the stoking bloc confrontation and geopolitical games." So they are creating some kind of confrontation and creation of some kind of geopolitical games. So some countries are going to be affected. So they are very specifically giving a kind of warning. So where they say that once getting on someone else's ship, one is no longer able to have the steer in control, isn't it? So that is in a clear warning to India. If you are going into the ship of US, you will not have the steering in your control. This is what a kind of thing. 20 years ago, when US has started the Afghan war, many countries have actually gone into it. But what is that happened after 20 years? What benefits have the countries have got? So they say the autonomy, when you talk about, it should be in practice, not just in the words. That is something which they have announced about it too, right? So they say the quad grouping is going to be a failure. That is something which is very specifically mentioned by them. Okay, and the next one is this: Chinese central bank has imposed a kind of a ban on all the cryptocurrencies. They made it very clear that all the financial transactions involving the cryptocurrencies are illegal, which means going forward the cryptocurrencies will be completely illegal in India. So now, I mean in China, I'm sorry, in China. So what happens as a result of it now, when the China is putting a ban on them, there will be a fluctuation of the cryptocurrency for sure. And this currency which you are taking, they say they are going to be illegal financial activities. So this has been sent to all over the people in the country of China. So the People's Bank of China has stated that trading of Bitcoin and other virtual currencies have become one of the very common thing, but that is disrupting the economic and financial order. So this is seriously endangering the safety of people's assets. So they want to put an end to them. So that is a crackdown that has been announced by them. That's about this particular topic. I'm sure all of you remember a particular mission that has been taken up some time ago, Chang'e 5 mission. There was a mission taken up earlier called as Chang'e 5. So this is a mission that has been taken up by China to land on the far side of the moon. The major purpose of it is that to land on the far side of the moon. That is the major purpose of this mission. And when talking about it, on 16th of December 2020, what happened here is that Chinese Chang'e lunar mission delivered to Earth nearly 2 kgs of rocks and dust from the moon. They have given rocks and dust from the moon. So there is a Europlanet Science Congress is going on, and a PhD student at the Chinese University of Geosciences has shown the early findings of these particular things, which could be linking them to one certain kind of things which are going to be very important features. So the Chang'e has landed on certain kind of region on the moon, where the samples have never been taken by any other countries in the last 50 years. So they have taken certain kind of fragments of the youngest lunar rocks which have been ever brought back for the analysis in the laboratories on Earth. The rocks are also different to those which have been brought up by many countries few years ago. So they say that the study which has been done by this particular expert or PhD student says that 90% of the material which has been brought up is taken up from the landing site of the Chang'e, and then it is taken from its immediate surroundings, which is a kind of mere basalt. So there are some dark gray areas which we'll be seeing, from here. If I see the moon, we'll have some dark gray areas, right? So they are basically the volcanic rocks I've taken from them, and there are other 10% of these fragments have a very different chemical composition. Of the 90% of them, in them 10% of them have a very different things. And this 10% fragments, they expect that these 10% fragments may have records of other parts of the surface, like what are the types of space rocks which have impacted the surface of the moon. So this researcher or this PhD scholar, along with his cousin, along with his colleagues, like they have looked at the potential sources from where it has come and all. So they have traced these particular space rocks to an extinct volcanic vents known as Rima Myron and Rima Sharp. So this will help us in some better understanding about the moon, the young geological age they talk about, how they have come and all. So they are still working on that particular thing, so it takes some more time for us to get a much more better results of that. Okay, so that is about the last topic, and we have one last topic today, that is about India and Maldives. When you talk about both of these nations, it is definitely a very, very, very interesting thing to know about what happens among these particular countries. With the change of governments, there would be a change in the inclination of the country. For example, if Maldives is if Maldives is ruled by Mr. Abdullah Yamin, they will take sides of China. If it is ruled by Mr. Nasheed or Soli, then they would be taking the side of India. This is a very common trend that we have been seeing for some time till recently. And when you're talking about it, okay, when you're talking about it, so the Maldives state-owned company called Fahidirulhun Corporation have signed some loan agreements with two companies. One is a state-owned company called National Buildings Corporation Construction Company of India, and the other one called as, what do you call it as, very specifically, 20, they say that, JMC Projects India Limited. So by collaboration with these three companies, they have decided to build around 4,000 social housing units. 4,000 social housing units in an island called as Hulhul Mail. So the India's state-owned bank called Exim Bank has provided some kind of credit, about $228 million for the construction of these units too. If you remember, few days ago, it's been almost a month, I guess, we had a discussion with respect to Greater Mail Connectivity Project, right, where the Mumbai-based company has actually got the contract for it. So India is trying its best to do whatever we can with respect to the development of, this particular region of Maldives, because, it's very important. The security of Maldives is important for us too. So what they will be doing here is that the contracts for engineering, procurement and construction were signed between these companies, where the National Building Construction Company will develop 2,000 houses and JMC Projects will develop another 2,002. So according to them, the Fahid Dirihulum Corporation is the one which will focus on constructing the low cost housing projects. So according to the statement issued by the High Commission of India in Maldives, so there will be, under these two projects, 2,800 units, each consisting of 3 bedrooms and 3 toilets, and 1,200 units each consisting of 2 bedrooms and 2 toilets will be constructed under this. So now around 40% of the people in Maldives live in their capital city Mail, and which has an area of around 8.3 square kilometer only. They have an area of around 8.3 square kilometer only. So it is one of the most densely populated. And due to most population, what happens now, the traffic issues and all, a huge congestion has been there. There's a less chance to expand the capital. So the current Maldives government was prompted to focus on decentralization and all, and accordingly they are developing different kind of, we could say, infrastructure on all different kind of islands of this particular Maldives. So as part of it, Maldives will focus on coming up with some much better houses would be constructed too, and this is not recent. In fact, the construction of this has been initiated long ago in 1990 with the finance assistance from China, and it is being taken up by different kind of governments in a different way, right? So in terms of bilateral relations also, India's development assistance is very important for them. For example, during the Yamin government, which was there from 2013 to 18, China was involved with a lot of development projects too. But when the Soli government came, India is involved in a lot of development projects too. So there's a change in this particular case. But the affordable housing is one of the election issue that they have taken. So it's very important about what is happening. But we just have to wait and see about how there could be a change or transformation we could expect with respect to the kind of things that are going on with respect to India and Maldives, but that is about the project that has been taken up. Okay, so this is what we all have for the day. So we will be stopping here, and you could use, you can join an Academy Plus subscription using the code that is highlighted here. You can join at any point of time, and that is all for the day. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much, and I'll be seeing you all again on Tuesday. Till then, everyone, take care. Thank you, and Jai Hind. Bye bye.